everyone, I am doing a little bit of a different video today just to talk about pencil sharpeners. Now I brought in a selection of sharpeners that I have a few more, but these are the main ones that I have, and I thought I would talk you through the different types, the pros and cons and things like that. This is the first one I'm going to talk about, just because I won't be talking for long about this type. This is an extra big sharpener, it's got a big hole. This is a Lyra, and this is for the really thick Lyra pencils that you get. Now it works perfectly fine for that type of pencil. But I do find the thick pencils also fit in this sharpener, so you may not necessarily have to buy one. Also, these have two holes, so if you've got extra thick pencils, do check out your current sharpeners before you buy a specialist one, because you may not need it. That's all I'm saying about that one. Perfectly fine, works very well for thick pencils. Okay, so where should we start? This is an electric pencil sharpener. So it's the brand is Tenwin. It's not a known brand. I'm sure lots of brands do these, but this is one that I was gifted, and you have a little dial here where you can change whether you have a point or a flat end. Okay, and you empty it by unscrewing the top, and all the sharpening sort of around here, you can see them, you just tip them into the bin. So it's nice and straightforward, and you pop your pencil in, not your finger, tells you there, don't put your finger in. Pop your pencil in there, push it down a bit, and it just sucks it in, sharpens it and spits it out again. It's very efficient, but obviously, and this little light lights up when it's in action. It takes a battery or two, I can't remember how many, but I don't know if I've actually changed them, or whether it came with batteries, can't remember. It's very useful if you want a nice long point on your pencil and you want to sharpen things really quickly. But I don't use this very often in videos because it's noisy, and I also don't use it very often not in videos because it's noisy, so it disturbs people. So but it is very good. So that's that sort of sharpener. Now it works very similarly to these hand crank sharpeners, these two here. I'll talk about those next. So these are effectively very similar. You can see they've got a hole in the front where the pencil goes. Both of them have got a little knob on the side. On both of them you press the knob and you pull this front piece out. I'll show you on this one like that. I'll show you on both of them. You can see they're the same really, even down to this dipped bit here. And then to put the pencil, you have to do that before you start. To put the pencil in, I've got a pencil here. Oh, this is a naughty pencil. Yeah. It's got a naughty word on it. So you put the pencil in like that, not that word, the one on the other side, and then you turn your handle. Like that, and when it has finished sharpening the handle goes loose and you can't turn it anymore, and you get your pen. I haven't finished sharpening it. Look, it looks rubbish because it's trying to sharpen it to a new shape, because this has been sharpened in these sharpeners which give you a thinner shape. So that's that, and this is the same. So we'll put this in here and finish it off. There we go. Can you see that's just not making a noise? That means it's done. And there you are, you can see. And the sharpenings go into a little pull-out drawer in the bottom, which is the same for both. Now this is a Derwent brand sharpener, and this is a Dahl brand sharpener. Both available on anywhere you want to buy sharpeners from really, and Amazon for example. The Derwent one is much dearer, and it has a slight disadvantage. If you look in the hole, you can see there are little teeth in there which hold on to the pencil. They make a dent in the pencil. You can see it there, just above my finger. I don't know how clearly you can see it. So some people think that it ruins their pencils because it makes dents in them, so they don't like it. This one doesn't do that, and this one's cheaper. Now I've had this one a long time and I don't use it that often. I've had this one less time and I use it more. They're both plastic and metal, and you know, they both seem fine. So I would imagine personally that this Dahl, which is cheaper, is probably better value for money. Has little feet, so it doesn't scratch your desk, and Derwent has a whole pad. I'm making a mess all over my desk. Now, these also give you a very long point, which some people like and some people don't like. Whoops, drop the pencil. But on this one you can change, so you can change it from a point to a flat end like you could with the electric one. I don't think you can do that with this one. I think this one just goes to a point and that's that. Oh, my desk is filthy, so you don't get that choice. I must hide the bottom of this pencil where it's got the naughty word. Let's get a different pencil. Okay, so see how this pencil's only got a little end? That is what you get with the more regular sharpeners that I'm going to show you in a minute. So, but to talk about these just a little bit longer, people say that using a hand crank sharpener or an electric sharpener when you have soft pencils like a Prismacolor, especially for the very first sharpening, helps to compress the lead more and for them to be less breakable in the future. I don't know if that's true. It's a very difficult thing to test, but I do tend to use my Dahl for my Prismacolors. Okay, but I do have this. This is a Prismacolor sharpener, and I find it doesn't really work particularly well. You have two holes here, one for the shorter point and one for a longer point, I think. I'm just going to try it out with this pencil that hasn't got a rude word on it. But yeah, it's now you should always, oh, that's quite long. You should always turn the sharpener and not the pencil. Okay, so I don't know what the difference, and maybe that's the short one. Hang on, this one. Oh, it is, look. Can you see the difference? That one's shorter. So you've got a shorter and a longer point on that one. And they're really tricky to empty. You have to somehow open up there and empty them. I find them quite tricky to use, but that's the Prismacolor one. Now, let's move on to my... These are Staedtler Noris sharpeners. Now, you know, these have the barrel for collecting the bits, and this one has a large and a small hole. There are two advantages to large and small hole. If you have a large fat pencil that you need to sharpen, the large hole's great. I don't tend to sharpen my large pencils in here, so what I do is when this blade gets dull or blunt, I swap them over. So you get twice the life with the colour blade. This one is actually just for graphite, so you don't want to use that for your coloured pencils really. I don't understand why. What's the difference? I've got no clue. Now, the thing with Staedtler is I can buy replacement blades for this, and I've not found any other company that provides that service. I have to write to Staedtler in Germany and ask them, and I pay a very small amount of money. They send me loads. My husband does it for me, so I can get replacement blades, which is why this is so shabby, because I've actually got a newer one over here. This one's nice and new, and it's got this flip lid which covers over the holes. Like this one's broken off because I fiddle with them. Which is good for travelling. If you empty it, put the lid on, you don't get all the bits like I've got all over my desk getting into your pencil case or whatever, you know. The only thing with these is when they get too full, which this one is, you can see through the whole space there, they break your pencil, so you have to make sure you keep emptying them. A recent discovery of mine is this Dahl sharpener there. This is very full as well. This came with my Holbeins, and I absolutely love it. Now you can twist this here and you can close it by twisting it that way, and the whole, oh, it's open actually. Hang on. Oh, it's not fully closing. So you can close the hole, or you can twist it and get different lengths. I like it on number 1. I'm just going to turn it back to number 1, but you can adjust the size of the point of the pencil according to the number. It changes the angle of the sharpener, which is really clever. But I haven't found replacement blades for this, as I haven't for any others. And last are these. Now this is a KUM sharpener, which I was sent. And it's a handheld. As you can see, it comes with a replacement blade, which is always very useful. With this sort of special slidey cover. Oh no, the blade's in there, look. Now, and this is a handheld one that I was also sent, which is just says made in Germany on it. It's beautiful, look at that. Now, I find handheld sharpeners are really very, very good. Not the plastic ones that you get in kids' school sets, but any metal one. They're great. But when you sharpen with them, you get the colour comes off on your fingers. You have to have a bin handy and all that. So that is the disadvantage with those. But I actually find them very good. The only other way that I know of to sharpen pencils is with a knife. Now, I would never do that myself, because I think that that's too dangerous for me personally. Just trying to put these out so you can see them. I would probably just end up cutting my fingers off, because I am that careless. But for some people, I think they could be an option. I've also seen this amazing option, which is like a blade, and you just pull your pencil across it and it sharpens it. But it was hundreds of pounds, so I figured that wasn't really an option for me. But in conclusion, if you're looking for a good all-round pencil sharpener, then the Dahl is very good, and it's good value for money. However, because it's noisy and slightly cumbersome and I'm lazy, I prefer the Dahl, which is quicker to use because you just shove your pencil in and twist it. You know, you don't have to open it, put it in, turn the handle, all that business. So it depends on your pencils. As I say, I always use a Dahl for my Prismas just because I want to look after them because they're so temperamental. I wouldn't recommend getting this at all. I don't, unless someone's got some secret that they know to get this to work, but I don't find them particularly good. And the handhelds, if you've got handhelds hanging around in your drawer, try them out. Now, last tips with pencil sharpeners, you need to keep the blades as clean as you can. The wax and oil from pencils can get onto the blade and it can make them less efficient at sharpening. So a lot of people advise that every certain amount, every so often, if your pencil sharpener doesn't seem to be working so well, if it isn't getting things to a sharp point, or if the leads are breaking, firstly check it's not too full, but also sharpen it with a regular pencil, like the graphite pencil, and that will clean the blade off a little bit, and then you'll be able to use it again. But do be careful once the blades get dull. This looks like the same shape of blade as that one, which is interesting. But once the blades get dull or blunt, then they aren't very usable. So bear that in mind and look, so that you can look after your pencils. It's worth it buying a new sharpener rather than persevering with one that's going to break all your leads. Okay, so there will be links in the description to some of these sharpeners if you want to go and have a little look and find more information on them. Obviously, I'm sure I haven't covered all of them. There are plenty more different types of sharpeners that people will have tried that they will like. So you can always leave things in the comments saying, I like this, I like that, I find this one doesn't work for me, or whatever. I would be very interested actually to hear what you think. And of the electric ones, this one you see is a budget one, and does it make any difference? Has anyone found that a more expensive sharpener makes a difference? Like the Dahl is cheaper than the Derwent, but I find the Dahl better. Staedtlers aren't really that expensive. I don't know how it compares to the Dahl. I haven't looked at the price because it came with my pencils, but I'd just be interested to know in the comments what you think, what you use, what you don't use, what you would recommend to other people and what you wouldn't. So that would be, I'd be most grateful for that. But I thought I would just talk about what I had and what my personal experiences were, and hopefully that has been useful to you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy sharpening.